And certainly we got going back to the CCAC tomorrow, and then who knows where. But anyways, it's been interesting to see these two leagues as we've had a chance to watch both Indiana University South Bend as well as Bethel. Those teams actually played each other up in Grand Rapids up at the Cornerstone tournament with Bethel picking up the 3-1 win, which kind of raised an eyebrow for both of us.
Yeah, I would have really liked to see that game because, I mean, we talked about it before. You know, on any given night, any team can have a great day or not a great day. So, you know, both teams have different aspects that they're really strong in. So it would have been very interesting to watch that game. I haven't had a chance to see the stats from it, see who played well. You know, both Bethel and IUSB have very similar outsides that are just kind of beach-like players, smart players. They can get up and hit the ball, but they can put the ball away. Both have some strong middles. Defense, you know, it just kind of different. So I would be very interested to see that. I think if they played multiple times, that it could be a different winner each time.
Once again, you look at this one. Taylor won the last time out when these two teams met back on the 11th of September, 3-1. Bethel has gone 5 games against Taylor here, the last 2 times they've played here on Mike Lightfoot Court. And, of course, Taylor has won 3 straight in the series. Aaron Luthi, of course, who had a standout career at Taylor University and under the direction of Angie Finnikanen from 2001 to 2004. During her time as a player, an outstanding opportunity for her. 143 and only 42 losses. It was a 3-year starter. Of course, she helped the Trojans to go off to the NEI National Tournament Series back in 2001. So she's a pedigree of the program, one of the winningest programs in the history of volleyball in the NEI. And likewise, Katie Weiss, who grew up here and played at Bethel College at the time. And certainly both these gals trying to continue some of the great work that was done in the past, still trying to find their mark, if you will, and make their own stamp on where they're going to be. And if you look at the Crossroads League standings, Taylor certainly in a position right now with Indiana Wesleyan and Marion tied at 12-1. St. Francis receiving votes in the poll at 10-4. Grace at 9-5. Mount Vernon at 9-6, and then Taylor's right in the middle of the pack. The Pilots follow Huntington. Huntington at 6-9. Pilots at 3-10. So this is an important game for the Pilots. And likewise, an important one for Taylor as they're in a hunt for a potential home game in the postseason tournament series. So there's a lot at stake here for Taylor, who's made the 2-hour-plus drive up from Upland. They need a win on the road to continue the fight for a home game.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is always a tough part of the season. You're getting towards the end, you're getting towards postseason play, and, you know, it's who's healthy, who the longevity of the season, it starts to wear on the body a little bit. So, you know, it's kind of trying to find that balance between, you know, practicing hard, preparing for the team, and it's more about, I think personally, practicing and preparing smarter, not necessarily longer. You know, get in the gym, do what you need to do to prepare. Your body's going to be at a point where it should be prepared for what you're doing, but we don't want to, you know, wear it down at this point because you need everybody, you need all your players, and I know that there have been some injuries here for this Taylor team as they get here towards the end, and it's, you know, how we finish the season and going into that postseason that's going to be the most important. So, you know, both these coaches, I'm sure, looking for a tough game tonight. And
if you look at the numbers, Bethel is 2-16 against teams with above 500 records. Yeah. On the other side, Taylor University against teams with 500 or below, a perfect 13-0. And once again, if you look at the records and you look at the stats and make some healthy comparisons, and when you're playing in the same type of teams in the same league, it bodes well for Taylor tonight.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, I know I say it all the time, but on any given night, any team can show up and take things away. So you can't ever take an off night. You just can't.
All right, I spent some time with Aaron Luthi just a few minutes ago and got her thoughts on today's matchup. College volleyball today here from Bethel University, Taylor University in town to take on the Pilots. Aaron Luthi spending time with us prior to today's match. Aaron, first of all, we're at this stage of the year where everybody's looking forward to postseason play, but once again, you got to keep your mind on the business at hand, and that's, of course, finishing strong. Just talk about the season thus far for you, and where are you guys at as you hit the home stretch?
Sure, yeah. Overall, I've been pleased with our season. We've had some devastating losses from a medical standpoint that we lost 3 of our starters for most of our most of our season. So we're actually excited to have all three back tonight for the first time in conference play. So looking forward to that. But yeah, we're fighting for home court advantage during postseason play right now. So yeah, every win is super important to us.
One thing about it is when those injuries come your way, kids can do one or two things. They can kind of go in a shell and kind of hide, or they can elevate their play. Which was it for your group?
Yeah, definitely elevating. And our girls have fought through some pretty frustrating and kind of freak incidents that have happened with knees. And we had a shoulder surgery in the off season that put one of our starting outside hitters out for the season. So yeah, I mean, our girls, I'm so proud of how everyone stepped up and rallied around each other, and they've done their best to overcome, and we'll see what happens tonight.
Obviously, you got to forget the fact that you beat the Pilots the last time around, so you need to kind of get re-energized here with a road game. Give us an idea on how you motivate your student athletes to once again forget about the last time we played this team, and once again getting used to that long bus ride.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, we respect Bethel. Katie's an amazing coach. They have a phenomenal group of young women who are working hard and training hard to better themselves. And you know, Bethel's a different team than when we saw them last. In the same way, we're a different team since they saw us last. But yeah, a road trip has always put you in a little bit of a corner and gives them an advantage that they were able to rest a little longer today. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for both of us to battle it out this evening.
I know that you grew up in this league, and you certainly had a great career at Taylor. The league has taken itself to a whole nother level on a national scale. Did you see this thing coming down the tracks as it's evolved over the course of your career in this league? Sure.
Yeah, it's a blast. When I was a player, there were 2, maybe 3 schools that competed at a high level, and now it's across the board. And it's every night I'm excited to see who's beating who and who's challenging each other. And this season, no one has gone unscathed. So we're excited to see how this plays out. Excited to head into the postseason tournament. That anyone, the title is up for grabs. That's for sure.
All right, final question. I'll give you a wrap up. What do you have to do to win tonight?
Yeah, we have to contain and keep Bethel out of system as much as possible. They have some nice arms. They mix up the ball really well. They have a supporting cast across the board that they have some go-to hitters that Coach Wise can utilize and really mess with the team. They're scrappy on defense, and we need to make sure that we keep them out of system as much as possible so then we can run our attack.
Best of luck tonight, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We'll be back with more college volleyball right after this on Regional Radio Sports. We want to thank our friends at First Source Bank for sponsoring Bethel University Athletics. Certainly appreciate them. Don't forget, a quick reminder for you that tomorrow on 91.1 FM, The Globe will have the Coaches Box live from Beef O'Brady's. Matt Copsey will be running the show, taking care of the business at hand, and have Craig Kaler, the head football coach at Concord High School. He'll be joining Matt and talking a little American tackle football, set the stage for the 2019 IHSA football tournament series, which gets underway on Friday in classes 1 through 4A, plus a couple 5A schools will be getting after it. So join Matt, and he'll get you up to date on all the details in that regard. I also spent some time with Katie Weeks and got some thoughts from her on her volleyball team and where they're going. Bethel University Volleyball here today on Regional Radio Sports. Joining us here on the pregame show is Katie Weeks, the coach of the Pilots. Katie, first of all, prior to our on-the-record sit-down here, talk about the really neat weekend that you guys had a chance to experience. Bounce back, you beat a really good IUSB team up there, and in addition to that, you come back and start off with a conference win coming out of that. Let's just speak to the fact of how neat it is to get out and play some teams other than this very rugged Crossroads League.
Yeah, you and I were just talking about how playing everyone twice in the league sometimes can be a little monotonous and tiring. And then, if you make it to postseason, then you're playing a team 3 times before you're out of there. And it is fun to go and play other teams and play teams you don't know that much about, that you don't have as much history with. And so we had a blast. Playing at Cornerstone, went up to Grand Rapids, did pretty well. It was a good tournament because I was telling you Peyton Hart was out. And, she's been a star for us this year, foundational player for us. And so for her to be out, I was extremely nervous about what the outcome of this tournament would be. And then yet we had, Kelsey Fedema step up and just do an amazing job. Just changed the whole, to go 2-2 without Peyton Hart, I didn't think that could happen. So it was very encouraging.
And then you followed up with a win against Goshen, so it's good to get back on the winning track against a conference opponent. Yeah,
always a good thing. And now tonight playing Taylor. Taylor's a much tougher team, but I sometimes it just so depends on the mental state that we're in, and I hate that. But I hope we go into this match ready to win, believing we can win, putting forth our best effort regardless.
Do you go back and you bottle that speech of prior to the IUSB game or another game where you think, or is it really just comes down to where are you guys at emotionally, or is it emotionally or mentally? Mentally, I think I can win, but I don't know if I can win. Emotionally, I'm ready to go and do whatever coach tells me to do. Make sense?
Yeah. With women, I would say both of those things matter. And so, yeah, I'm hoping to really pump them up before we go out on the court tonight. And I think they always want to win, but there is a weakness behind, like, can we win? And, you got to go into every game believing that you can win. Otherwise, honestly, I just feel like you're wasting your time.
All right, let's turn our attention to Taylor University. Erin, she's a product of their program, so she's back at home. Give us an idea what concerns you about their group. If you look at some of their players, Nikki Parrott, who's number 2 in the cross-resilient service aces. You look at Amanda Adams, Casey Bragg, also having really good years.
Yeah, absolutely. Erin has a strong team. I think some of the things that make them difficult is that they are pretty strong along the net. Pretty much no matter what rotation they're in, they've got a seasoned hitter that can really put the ball down. And so blocking and being quick to close out hitters is very important to us tonight. And, one of the things that makes them tough too is, their freshman setter, Casey, is a tough player. And with them running a 6'2", if their back row setter at that time takes the ball, they're going to give it to her, who's in the front, and it's just an in-system pass. Instead, normally you'd want to take the setter from the back row, and then they don't have a setter. But for them, that doesn't, they've always got one. So that's hard, and she can turn and swing really well.
Sarah talks a lot about during our broadcasts about playing out of your system and how well you play out of the system or how much you play in your system. Mm-hmm. Can you speak to that with your team?
Yeah, absolutely. We have focused so much on passing in system, being able to be in our system and run our offense. And, we have to improve that. How much we're getting in system is poor. We've got to get better. I'd settle right now for 50%. We're lower than that right now. And so that just has to be improved. Our service receivers, they have to take ownership of that and responsibility and just say, I'm going to, this is my goal. This is what I'm taking hold of. Like, I'm going to get us there. And just not being satisfied with just getting it up. That's not good enough. So we've got to go to the next level.
Best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more with Pilots Volleyball right after this on Regional Radio Sports. Once again, thank you very much to both of our coaches. All right, Sarah, you've had a chance to listen to the brain thrusts of the two respective programs we're going to hear from today and watch some thoughts on those interviews.
Yeah, I think you're listening to two coaches who are also great players and know what it takes to win and know what it takes to, have a good program and do really well, and it's getting their girls to get to that spot, as well as dealing with some unfortunate injuries, which is part of the season. Part of coaching is what are we going to do when everything's not perfect, and that's when you kind of look at what's my depth on the bench. So I think it's great for, Katie that she went up this last weekend and played some games without, her big hitter. And at the same time, Taylor as well, having 3 girls just coming back, that changes your program as well. I remember a couple of these girls from Warsaw. I'm anxious to see the freshman setter from Warsaw. I remember watching her play in high school, and I think it's always fun to watch that first year transition into the college game when it gets a little faster, players are, get a little better. So it's always fun to listen to coaches, to see what their take is on things. You can tell they both really respect each other and respect what each one is doing in their program. So, and I think they both know on any given night this match could go either way, so they got to play well.
We'll be back with our opening announcements, starting lineups, all coming your way here from Bethel University. Trojans, Pilots tonight, Crossroads League Volleyball. We'll set the stage. What else is happening in the league right after this?
Today, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Welcome back here on Regional Radio Sports. Paul Country along with the Hall of Famer Sarah McFarland Hendricks. Glad to have the All-American with us here today. As once again, a quick reminder that our coverage today of volleyball being presented in part by our friends at Teachers Credit Union. Let's take a look at what's happening in the Crossroads League here on this 23rd. The receiving vote, St. Francis Cougars. It's on the road at the Gundin Gymnasium over in Goshen to take on the Leafs. Spring Arbor is at 19th ranked Marion down in Indy. That could get ugly early and often. Spring Arbor 0-14, Marion at 12-1 in league play. And, of course, Indiana Wesleyan will be taking on Grace tonight. I believe we're going to
get Taylor University in York.
And now we'll do that. Sorry about that, folks. They just turned the mic on for us down there. Ouch! That hurt my ears.
Wake it up.
Character Initiative. We ask each of you to help create a positive, competitive environment by showing respect for one another. On behalf of the Crossroads League and Bethel University, please enjoy tonight's match. Will everyone please stand, and gentlemen, kindly remove your hats for an opening prayer, followed by the playing of our national anthem. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity that these players have tonight, that they can play to the glory of you through the game of volleyball. We ask that you protect the players as they compete and keep them safe from injury and help them to truly enjoy the game. Help us to all encourage and cheer with proper perspective in mind. Thank you for what you are doing and have done in our lives. In Jesus' name, amen. And now for the player introductions, starting with the Trojans visiting from Taylor University, beginning with our non-starters. 5'9", sophomore from Hillsdale, Michigan, Lauren Meckelberg. 5'3", junior from Plymouth, Indiana, Ashley Harrell. 5 foot, sophomore from Hoagland, Indiana, Jessica Dodane. 5'5", freshman from Warsaw, Indiana, Aaron Pugh. 5'10", junior from Wheaton, Illinois, Brooke Suerta. 5'8", freshman from Salisbury, Indiana, Carly Ware. 5'10", sophomore from Bourbon, Indiana, Nikki Sechrist. And for your starters, we have 5'6", sophomore from Warsaw, Indiana, Nikki Parrott. 6 foot, senior from Seward, Nebraska, Julia Pomeranke. 6 foot, junior from Highland Heights, Kentucky, Grace Isaacs. 5'9", senior from Avon, Ohio, Abby DeSinclair. 5'10", junior from Heath, Ohio, Amanda Adams. And 5'10", freshman from Warsaw, Indiana, Casey Bragg. And at libero, we have 5'5", senior from Perrysburg, Ohio, Samantha Korn. And now, for your Bethel University pilots, starting with the non-starters, we have Isabel North, freshman, 6'2", from Hoagland, Indiana. 5'7", junior from Elkhart, Indiana, Mackenzie William. 5'11", freshman from Kalamazoo, Michigan, Kelsey Fiedma. 5'3", freshman from Bern, Indiana, Hannah Dole. 6'1", senior from Anchorage, Alabama, Aja McDonald. 5'9", freshman from Bern, Indiana, we have Shaylin Bowman. 5'8", sophomore from South Bend, Indiana, Megan Hosinski. And for your Bethel University pilot starters, we have 5'9", junior from Goshen, Indiana, Kelsey Grusdove. 5'5", freshman from Fort Wayne, Indiana, Kennedy Kintz. 5'6", freshman from Valparaiso, Indiana, Rachel Vendel. 5'9", junior from Kenville, Indiana, Peyton Hart. 6 foot, junior from Valparaiso, Indiana, Abby Arnold. And 6'1", sophomore from Allentown, Pennsylvania, Madison Beaver. And at libero, we have 5'5", senior from Lexington, Kentucky, Bridget Downs. And if you would please set your eyes on the court this afternoon, we will get our game underway.
Okay, there you go. Once again, glad you can join us here on Regional Radio Sports for all the details. That is Crossroads League Volleyball. I'm Paul Connery along with the Hall of Famer. Glad to have Sarah McFarland Hendricks with us here today. Of course, if you haven't had a chance to listen in to Sarah, Sarah was the state champion at Michigan City High School back in the day, and of course went on to coach over at Penn High School, won a state championship as a coach. Of course, was an All-American at Loyola Marymount. Still holds a handful of records out there, and is an NCAA player, part of that Olympic Development Committee. She's done it all, folks. And of course, she's had to deal with me the last few years. And glad to have her here, though. All right, so the Bethel Pilots decked out in the white jerseys with the black spandex with the blue numbers and Pilots written on the back. Taylor University, black spandex, and of course the purple jerseys with the white numbers with Taylor written in white on the front. Taylor will be on the right side of your screen, and of course the Pilots on the left side of your screen. Our officials tonight, Terry Miller, he's the number one guy. He's up there along the net. Janice Jasinski-Beck is going to be down here along the scorer's bench. She's from Walkerton. Of course, Terry Miller from Mishawaka. David Cole will be one of the linesmen. He'll be over here to my immediate left, taking care of the business at hand. And then finally, Kendall Schaefer, young man over here from LaPorte, Indiana. So we're ready to get underway. Tonight's the Crossroads League. Last night it was the CCAC. Tomorrow we'll go right back into the CCAC. And if we didn't get enough, we'll do some more of this kind of stuff on Saturday. We're just underway here, Crossroads League, as the Bethel Pilots score the first point of the match. Once again, Taylor 17-14 overall, 7-7 in the Crossroads League. They are 12-12 outside of the comforts of the Odell Gymnasium.
And we're already seeing a little change here. Peyton Hart coming out of the back row, which I'm guessing is probably some of her injuries are going to save her so she can be up in that front row and do what she needs to do.
Got a knee problem. That has been the issue. And now Bethel coming on the attack. Here's Maddie Beaver. Nice play on the back side by DeSimple-Air. She sends one high up the elevator shaft, and now the Pilots come back on the attack. There's a pass over here to the near side. McDonald tried to keep it alive.
Save.
And once again, the Pilots come back on the attack. To the net comes Taylor on the attack. The double block went right through it. And we're tied 1-1.
Tell you what, if every play goes like this, we're in for a great battle tonight because that was some great volleyball.
And now to serve for TU will be Casey Bragg. Bragg, a 5'10 freshman from Warsaw High School, playing in her 115th game, 162 kills, 654 assists, for number one on the team in that department. Bridget Downs along the back line. This one popped up, and that'll be a point on the carry. And it's 2-1 Taylor.
Bethel has both their setters in the game right now. We know that Beaver can hit and set, so they're running sort of a modified 6-2 right now, depending on where they are, having her set or hit.
In the games that you and I have done, so we haven't seen Kennedy Kentz play a lot. No. Only playing in her 58th game of the year, the youngster from Fort Wayne Blackhawk Christian. And now the Pilots, as Kelsey Grostov and Maddie Beaver. A little bit of communication issues there, and the point goes to Taylor. It's now 3-1. And now to serve again, Taylor. They'll come to the back line where it's played by Kentz. McDonald's shot blocked, but put right back into play. And here's one at the net, punched home by Julie Pomeranke, the 6-foot senior from the Cornhusker State. It makes it 4-1. So Taylor, after giving the first point, has run off 4 straight.
Yeah, Bethel just looks a little out of sorts right now. They need to relax, settle in, play some volleyball.
And now the Pilots coming here on the attack. Here's McDonald. That one, I think she may have hit that one up the side of her hand. They're going to come back here to the near side. This one is sent home. Well played by Maddie Beaver. And for Maddie, that's her 170th kill of the season.
And that's what's nice about having players that can play multiple positions. You got 2 setters. One can play a defensive position or a setting position. Another one that can play a hitting position or a setting position. That gives Coach Katie some nice options when she's down there.
Taylor picks up a point there. That makes it 5-2 visitors. And once again, to serve for TU will be the libero Samantha Korn, 5'5 senior who prepped at Toledo Christian High School. And the Pilots come back and answer, and they're within 2 at 5-3. Taylor. Now checking into the game will be Kelsey Fedema, 5'10 freshman from Schoolcraft High School in Schoolcraft, Michigan. And now to serve for the Pilots will be Maddie Beaver. Beaver with 714 assists on the season. Here's one hit by McDonald, and she punches him out. Pilots within 1 now at 5-4 as they've pushed across a couple straight here. Beaver again to serve. Maddie leading the team with 41 aces. Number 7 as the Pilots are able to tie it up with 3 unanswered of their own. Maddie Beaver, coach, number 7 in the Crossroads lead with 6.7 assists per set, and number 5 in aces with just a smidge under 1. And she'll send one here. That one kind of handcuffed the Taylor's Nikki Parrott. And the Pilots now with a 6-5 lead as they've ran off 4 straight.
Yeah, both coaches getting a little frustrated with their teams, going, okay, what are we doing here? Both have had some just kind of, I don't even know what the word is, but they're not playing their normal game.
And immediately this service error by Beaver gives the Trojans the tie at 6-6.
We talk about errors and good errors and bad errors, and when you're really trying to go for something, just missing by a little bit. That was not a very good error.
Amanda Adams on the serve for TU. Here's McDonald punching one. Played well by Casey Bragg. This one, here's Beaver. Now over here to Bridget Downs. McDonald shot blocked. This one tapped high, and that one falls harmlessly to the floor, just past the outstretched hands of Samantha Korn. And Bethel leads 7-6 here in game number 1 here on Mike Lightfoot Court inside the Whitecamp Athletic Center. This is the Gage Gymnasium.
Hart does such a great job of being a leader when she's on the court. You see her get out there. She's immediately talking to everybody, getting them going. And I think when she's not in there, they're struggling a little bit with that leadership.
Rachel Vendel on the serve for Bethel. This one beautifully played by Downs along the back line. Vendel sends it back the other way. Now Taylor comes on the attack, and that was just an absolute rocket off the hands of Ryan Zerniak. Zerniak, who was a second-team All-Crossroads performer a year ago, who prepped at Covenant Christian High School. She's only a sophomore.
Yeah, and you can see why she was on that second team. As a lefty, you got to line up with your hitter a little bit different when you're a blocker. You're not going to be able to get that left hand.
We're at 7-7. Here is Taylor's on the attack. This one blocked by Abby Arnold, and the Pilots jump in front 8-7.
And when we talk about those blockers, when you're a blocker, you're not supposed to watch the ball. You're supposed to watch your hitter that's coming at you. You're watching their arm swing because that's going to tell you where the ball's going. So when suddenly you got a lefty, it's training your eyes to look for something different. That's why lefties can be so successful.
Here's a pass here to the right side. This one deflects and goes out of bounds, but once again a powerful play on the far side. This one laid by Grace Isaacs. It's now 8-8. As we're at the midway point of this now, Sarah. Both teams still kind of just trying to sort things out.
Yeah, both teams just kind of need to settle in. And, I'm sure Taylor's got some girls back in their rotation. Bethel's got a different lineup going on. So
here's Peyton Hart with the hammer. Gives it a 9-8. That's the first time we've seen her elevate. Of course, she's playing with that bad left knee. What a talented player. Number 16 in the Crossroads League in hitting percentage at 183. Also number 4 in kills per set with 3.3. And if you talk to every coach in the league that we've talked to this year, as the Pilots have their first 2-point lead of the night, everybody wants to know where Peyton Hart is on the floor.
Yeah, and when you're injured like this is where she becomes even actually, I think, a better player. She's got to play a little smarter. She might not be able to have her normal jump that she has or be able to hit like she normally does. So it's knowing when to take something off, becoming a little bit of a smarter player, which she already is. She sees the court very well. Seeing it even more now and be able to not always go up and have that banging shot, but little finesse.
Keep in mind, Taylor had at one point in time had a 5-2 lead. Now the Pilots are up 11-8. Here's Peyton. Oh, she changes with the changeup, and here's one deflected, kept nicely alive on the redirect by Korn. Pilots on the attack. They're setting up Peyton again, and she hammers it home.
That was a great set by number 2 there, Kennedy Kintz. She put it right in her hand faster. We know that Bethel likes to run a faster offense when they can, and that was a great connection by those two.
And Taylor wants to talk things over as Aaron Luthi, the head coach of the visitors, wants to bring her team over to the sideline and discuss pleasantries, and we'll be back with more of college volleyball from Bethel University on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Like a pro with TCU. You can score big with the TCU Debit MasterCard that gives you cash back on everyday purchases. Plus, you'll win with access to hundreds of free ATMs across Indiana. Check out TCU's starting lineup of services to help you manage your cash and build your savings. Visit TCUnet.com to kick off your better banking experience. See TCU Debit MasterCard terms and conditions for details. Alliance One and Co-op ATMs within Indiana are free. New members are subject to a $7 membership fee and $5 initial share deposit.
Paul Condry along with Sarah McFarland Hendricks. Glad you can join us here from our broadcast locale up high above Mike Lightfoot Court. Keep in mind we have Bethel College women's basketball. They'll be coming your way on Saturday. Coach Mark Gardner along with, I believe, J.P. Jobert is on the call for that one. Yours truly will be on the road up near Detroit with the Bethel men's basketball team. The Pilots men's basketball team. This will be yours truly's 20th season as the play-by-play voice of the Pilots, and looking forward to seeing what young Steve Draben's basketball team is going to do. Is they're going to be taking on one of the top teams in the country, Madonna University. That'll be a quick and easy way to figure out where they're at early, as they're going to be taking on a team ranked in the top 10.
Oh, that's a way to start the season.
Yes, indeed. And now here's Kintz with the serve. She angles it to the far side where it's played there by Ware. And importantly for Taylor, they come out of the timeout and secure the point. And now they'll call upon Nikki Parrott, another Warsaw product, a 5'6" sophomore. Savage, who's got 49 aces on the season, which leads the club. And also, she's number 2 in the Crossroads League in that department. And as soon as I say that, service error.
Got it with that broadcasters, right?
Yeah. And now multiple changes. McDonald back in the game. AJ will be over there on that far side. Now Taylor coming back on the attack. Kintz with the pass over there. McDonald sends one back to the far portions of the court where it's played by Parrott. This one double blocked, and it goes out of bounds. That'll be a point for the visitors. That makes it 13-10. Just hammered that one right through the double block.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of what we call tooling the block, right? They're finding the player's hands on the other side of the net, getting a touch, and then it's going out of bounds.
Casey Bragg to serve. She's got 654 assists starting today's match. Here's McDonald. This one played alive by Bragg. Over to the near side. Oh, a dynamite play into the far side.
Smart.
Yeah, Amanda Adams took a little bit off that one there. That was the change-up, and the soft toss is good for a point. That makes it 13-11, Bethel. And again, Bragg to serve. She's got 39 blocks, 234 digs also on the resume. Kintz digs one off the top. Now here's McDonald. Whoa, way too many biscuits for breakfast on that one. That makes it 13-12.
I like that one.
I'd like to say that was a Paul Counter original. I think it was a Harry Carey original. Now Bragg will throw that high. Serve, Kintz. Boy, I tell you, handcuffed her again.
Yeah.
McDonald's, her shot blocked. Kintz is there. Downs passes over here to the near side where it's Gruzdoff sending it back the other way. Over to the right side. Once again, Kintz straight up the elevator shaft, and then Beaver tries the hook shot. This one blocked. Nice play. McDonald sends it back and missed the shot. And on the long rally, TU ties it up at 13-all. That was a great rally.
That really was, yep.
Well done from an athletic standpoint for both clubs. And now again, Bragg to serve. Casey, look how high she throws the ball, Coach.
Yeah,
this one's in the net, and that's a service error.
Yeah, she's got a great swing, and again, she's a left-handed setter, which is it's kind of like having a left-handed pitcher, right? It's just it's so nice because when she's on that right side of the court, when she's in the front row, she's a weapon as well, which we heard Coach Weiss talk about. They have to watch her when she's in the front row too.
Here's a block nicely from by Arnold and Beaver. This one goes right through McDonald's hands, and we're deadlocked at 14 points apiece. So which one of these teams is going to break here in this first set?
I think we're seeing why they've gone 5.
Pilots, of course, the last couple times they've been on the road at the Odell Gymnasium, they've gotten swept. But the Pilots have played well here. This one just outside, and the Pilots pick up the point. That makes it 15-14.
They might have lucked out on that one a little bit. The girls got in the way. I don't think he could quite see where the ball was.
And now to bring up Maddie Beaver to serve. Maddie will serve on the far side of the court from our vantage point up high. Angles went over here to the near side. Diving play kept alive by Parrott. There's a block. This one ricochets off the hands of Korn. And Taylor keeps it alive. Downs with the pass over here to the near side. Nice diving play by Korn. This one hammered home on the far side. I believe that was Ryan Zerniak with the kill. That makes it 15-all.
McDonald lost her hitter a little bit. She was not out there for the block. She got sucked into the middle. Got to stay true to your hitter first and then help out with the middle.
And Bethel on the attack. Downs comes back, and she really found the soft spot in the zone right there. This one deflected, and this will be a point for Taylor. And they now jump in front 16-15. If you look at the way this game has gone, this has been a tightly contested. We're tied at 5, 6, 7, 8, 13, and 14, and 15. Now it's 16-15. Here's a pass to the far side off of McDonald. She recovers. This one finally hammered. Oh, they're going to say it was out of bounds.
Oh.
That makes it 16-all.
I'll tell you what, if you're watching too, that's a great set by the setter. They're one of their best players is on the right side. They're trying to get their ball there. For her to have to come halfway across the court and still throw it over her head to that backside, that's a hard play.
Vendel with a diving serve for the ace. And the Pilots with their first ace of the evening, they jump in front. 17-16 on the Rachel Vendel offering. And for her, that's her 23rd ace of the year. She'll try to pull it off again, and it's a point. That makes it 18-16. Pilots. Had 7 ties here in this first game. Checking into the game now is Jessica Dodane, a 5-foot sophomore from Heritage. In that back row now for Taylor University. This one hammered home. They set the shop up there, and a beautiful ball placed down by Ryan Zerniak. Second team conference performer a season ago. That makes it 18-17, and now TU to score. Here's Abby DeSimple-Air, a product of Lutheran West High School in Avon, Ohio. Here's a Peyton Hart keeping it alive, and then Down sends it back. Over here on the near side, ball deflected around, and now Bethel's on the attack. This one falls. Oh, what a diving play and an effort by Samantha Korn. The Pilots will take the point and now lead 19-17 as Arnold checks out, and checking back in will be Hannah Marie Dull. Actually, I should say checking in for the first time tonight will be Dull.
And Taylor now is running a 6-2 as well. They're letting that setter, Casey Bragg, is now hitting as well.
There's a pass to the right side, hammered home. My, oh my, this one just absolutely. It was Grace Isaacs, I believe, was over there on the far side to knock that one in. That makes it 19-18.
So when we talk about the 6-2 that both teams have been running, it's where the setter is always in right back. So you'll see a double sub coming where the setter, although on this side it's a modified 6-2 because both setters for both sides, with Bragg and with, I'm about to say your name wrong, Beaver, both hit on the right side, so they're not having to come out, but they're always setting from right back.
There's one off the hit of Gruzstov. This one will be a point for the Pilots. They lead now 20-18 here in game number 1. And now Bridget Downs moves up a little bit, and the serve will be Kennedy Kentz, 5'5" freshman from the Summit City, prepped at Blackhawk Christian High School. That ball nearly handcuffed Korn. Downs tries to keep it alive, does so.
Play.
And then Kentz comes back the other way. This one blocked, kept alive, and the Pilots, a huge play as Gruzdoff and Beaver save the day, but give all the credit to the Pilots' number 11, Bridget Downs. She gave up her life on that one because she was going diving into the front row, and now a
got
timeout.
Around the line judge. I mean, she
that was just a great effort. Her, and she's got a grin on the side of her face that goes from ear to ear. We'll be back with more right after this. Serving Indiana residents since 1985, Centier Bank remains committed to supporting students, schools, and families. Centier Bank is a proud sponsor of the Regional Radio Sports Network Performer of the Week in recognition of outstanding athletes. Visit Centier.com today to view this week's featured athlete. Centier Bank, member FDIC. Welcome back here on Regional Radio Sports. Paul Condry along with Sarah McFarland Hendricks. Glad you can join us here for college volleyball from Bethel University. All right, now it's gut check time for Taylor as well as the Pilots. Number 1 Pilots got to prove that they can finish. Taylor, we'll see what
faucet volleyball, right? Turning it on and off at different parts in the game. So, again, even if the Bethel Pilots take this one, they got to continue this success into game 2.
Kennedy Kentz, who's been a bright spot, will be serving with that right hand. She goes to that back line where Korn is there. This one kept alive by Kentz.
No.
Downs passes it up here. This one, Hart, and a great block at the front as Julia Pomeranki.
Beaver went down there for a minute. Looked like she might have come under the net and got her ankle a little bit, but she's shaking it off.
21-19 in favor of the Pilots as Taylor will serve from right to left on your screen now. Nikki Parrott. Downs picks it off the shoot top. There's a pass to the far side now.
Great save by.
And what a play by Peyton Hart as she comes out of the game.
Yep, that's where Beaver should say thank you. Came off her hand a little rough, but Peyton saved it for her and was able to get the point.
22-19. And she's immediately going to come over here and jump on the
I love
exercise
that.
bike.
Yep, stays warm.
Try to keep in things. Here's one deflected, and that'll be a point for the Pilots. That makes it 23-19.
You know, it's hard for a player, especially like Hart, who's used to being on the floor all the time, being a leader, being in the game. And that's a hard position when you kind of have to come in and out of a game. So I'm sure she's struggling a little bit with that. I can imagine she does not like to come off the floor.
McKenzie, and here is Beaver with the two-hand stuff shot. That makes it 24-19, and Bethel will be serving for game one of the match here tonight. As Mackenzie Williams, who prepped at nearby Elkhart Memorial High School, angles one to the far side. And then here's McDonald, and that'll be a point for the Pilots. They secure game one by the score of 25-19. We had 7 ties.
Yeah.
Once again, 25-19 the final in game one. We'll be back with more.
Professor's doing research and I'm helping. I learn in the classroom and then I put it to use in the lab.
I'm working on my master's degree at IU South Bend. I want to move up in my job and get my career on track.
I'm on a tight budget. I looked around and IU South Bend is the best value for the best degree. No question.
My professors know my name. I can't get away with anything. It's just what I need.
Be a part of IU South Bend. Call 574-520-IUSB or visit iusb.edu to get started. Indiana University South Bend. Personal attention, the power of an IU degree.
They came from every corner of the country, from small towns and big cities. But they all shared one thing in common. They belonged to a family called Marines, a tough and determined few dedicated to protecting everything we hold sacred. And still, they come. Celebrate the history of those proud few who have earned the title Marine.
Welcome back here on Regional Radio Sports. I'm Paul Condry along with the Hall of Famer Sarah McFarlane Hendricks. Glad to have Sarah again back with us in the booth. And she's got the stat sheet, and that means she's going to break this one down. Once again, in case you're just hopping along, 7 ties in game one. We were tied at 5, 6, 7, 8, 13, 14, and 16. And it was that ace that turned the tide and gave the Pilots some breathing room at 17, 16, and they never looked back. They won at 25-19.
Yeah, and I mean, when you look at these stats, there's a lot of similarities. Both teams had 12 kills. Taylor with 7 errors, Bethel with 4. Hitting percentage-wise, though, Taylor at .128 and Bethel at .216. But here's the big difference. When you look at Taylor's big hitters, they were hitting 167, 200, 286. They had one hitter at 500, whereas Bethel, Peyton Hart was at 400, Abby Arnold at 667, Beaver 167. You know, everybody, they had a really well-rounded game, and I think that's one of the big differences that we saw is that more hitters were getting involved for Bethel, whereas Taylor had their couple of big hitters, but when they're not in the front row, you know, where's the ball going?
All right, Bethel once again will be on the right side of your screen, decked out once again with those black spandex and the white jerseys, the blue numbers. Taylor University, once again, black spandex, purple jerseys with the white numbers. Taylor moving from left to right here. And once again, in case you're just hopping along, as the Pilots off the Kent's scores here, 1-0. Once again, Taylor at 17-14 overall. Bethel at 10-20. Pilots are 3-10 in league play, and Taylor is 7-7 respectively. Kintz again with the serve. Up here along the right side, nice diving play by Kintz. Passes over to the right side, the one-hand play by Vendel, and then back Beaver tried to punch one home. This one played well by Julia Pomeranke for the point, and we're tied at 1-1.
Bethel's doing a great job of serving a tough ball. They're going to have to try and get the Taylor off the net so that they can't get the ball to that right side where they want it to go.
First, let me correct myself that we had 8 ties in that first game. We were both tied at 1-1. I forgot that. Oh, a nice little redirect by Maddie Beaver. Here's one blocked in. This one goes off of Beaver out of bounds, and Taylor will secure the point, and they lead now 2-1. Exactly where we were in game number 1. As Taylor again to serve. Parrott dug off the shoot tops here by Vendel. This one, Peyton Hart. Seems like she took a little bit off of that. Vendel with the pass over here to Kintz. This one on the left hand, redirect by Grusdorf. And Taylor now leads 3-1.
A lot of one-armed backyard volleyball in that one. You see at the family picnic, just sticking some arms out.
Well, I tell you what, I'd hate to be in the backyard with you and your dad, and the competitive as you two guys are.
It is true.
Here's Downs.
It's not always pretty, but it's competitive.
Absolutely. DeSempler with a nice job of keeping that one alive. This one goes right up the elevator shaft. DeSempler with a pass to the far side. This one played on the back line by Downs. They're setting up shop here. Peyton Hart with a kill. Oh, no, what a great save here by Abby DeSempler. At the net they go. This one blocked, and Taylor comes up big. Julia Pomeranke gives her club a 4-1 lead, and this is exactly where Taylor was, and immediately, unlike the first game, Katie Weiss wants to take a timeout. Interesting on the timeout very, very early on in the game.
Yeah, but I think she's seeing her club not playing the way that they were in that first game, and at some point you got to stop the momentum and go, okay, we got to stop the bleeding right now because we can't let this team run away from it. And, one thing I've noticed with this Bethel team is they don't really have a middle that's comfortable going off one foot. I guess I'm spoiled at IUSB where those players love to run slides and get away from the block. This Taylor has a good block, and if you run a middle directly into them, they're going to block the ball. So maybe switching things up a little bit, running a 31, which goes away from the block, or a slide, which moves your blockers a little bit more than they like to move.
Once again, glad you could join us. So how competitive were those backyards with Rob McFarland, state champion basketball star at Michigan City Elston High School?
He tries with volleyball, and I try with basketball, but it's not pretty. But I think my brother will accuse us of cheating, and it's just by any means necessary we're going to win, whether we're playing a board game or whether we're out playing a sport. Don't play ping pong with us.
Okay. We don't play board games at my house because yours truly is way too competitive.
Exactly.
See, Tanya Connery, that's what I've been trying to tell you for years. It's that it brings out the beast mode in you.
It does.
Nikki Barrett to serve. She punches one. Diving play by Downs. That was just a great serve.
The drop on that ball, it's spun to the side too, which is sometimes a topspin ball is an easy ball to pass because you just got to get underneath it. That ball not only had a nice topspin, but it curved to the right.
Barrett with 50 service aces now. She's number 2 in the Crossroads League in that department. She punches one. Down, sends that one up the elevator shaft. Over here, the near side, this one hammered home by Bethel's Maddie Beaver. Pilots stopped the bleeding. It's now 5-2.
I'm liking Beaver on the swing. She's taking some nice swings for the Pilots right now, and I think they need to utilize that more. I know they don't like taking her out of that setting position, but if they can get the other setter going, she's a nice weapon to have.
Mackenzie Williams on the serve for the Pilots. They're setting one up here. Oh, nice little diving play by Kintz to keep it alive. McDonald back the other way. Redirects it over here to Downs. Downs sends it here where DeSempler is there. This one punched long, and they're going to say it was deflected. And it will be a point for the visitors. They now lead 6-2.
And that's the slide I was talking about by Taylor. They run behind the setter, so when the setter's front row, they're running behind the setter, or not always when the setter's front row, but it makes your block stay true to their hitter and take off with her, so she has more of a chance of getting by the block.
Casey Bragg on the serve that last time. Boy, Taylor seems like they have really, from an energy standpoint, what a great play by Downs to keep that blistering shot alive on the back line. Barrett goes to the front, and she punches one home, does Julie Pomeranke, and now it is 7-2. I don't know if it was depending upon what side of the court you're on.
Maybe.
But right now, Taylor, whatever Aaron Luthi said in the between games, she lit a fire under her team's backsides. And this one goes, that's going to be an ace.
Yep, that was right on that back line.
8-2, the second ace here. And now again to serve Casey Bragg. Bragg with 654 assists, 32 aces, 234 digs, and 39 blocks.
And a freshman.
Yes, a talented player. McDonald, diving play here by Bragg to keep that alive. Downs to the net. Kintz has it on the. Here's Kintz again. This time she comes over here to Beaver, and that one sends way long where it's played by Parrott. Bethel back on the attack. Downs to the net to Kintz. This one hammered home by Madison Beaver, and Bethel's within 5 at 8-3.
And again, using that right side. Right now, the middle not being super successful. So keep getting the ball to Beaver. She's putting the ball away. She's getting you some kills.
Bridget Downs on the serve. Angles one to the far side where it's played there by Zerniak. And this one will be a point for the Pilots. That makes it 8-4. Bridget Downs again. 523 digs to start today. Bridge was number 4 in the conference and 4.9 per game. Here's one. Oh, a nice little finger roll. That was AKA George Gervin on the play. Here's a one out of bounds, and that'll be a point for Taylor. And the only person that probably knows that name is Rob McFarland right now.
And Tanya. Yeah.
I just aged myself really that time. Here's Korn with the serve. Oh, and this one is going to be an ace. The third ace of the second game.
And I think one of the big switches we're seeing right now in this game is the breakdown in passing for Bethel, and Taylor starting to pass the ball better, whereas in game 1, Bethel was passing a better ball.
Pilots come back on the attack now. A.J. McDonald. Oh, nice little redirect kept alive by Isaacs at the net. And this one sent home again. Amanda Adams. Right now, Taylor is just taking the Bethel Pilots out to the woodshed.
Yeah. They got a lot of weapons on the floor.
Stationary serve by Korn, the Toledo Christian product, McDonald. And the call's going to be a point for the Pilots. 11-5 in favor of Taylor University. Madison Beaver to serve for the Pilots. She angles one to the far side. And that'll be a point for the Pilots on the double hit. That makes it 11-6. Maddie Beaver, Allentown, Pennsylvania native. Stationary right-hand line drive and an ace, making it 11-7. Bethel's first ace of the second game. And Maddie with another opportunity. Does it again, goes to the back corner. This time it's played by,
saying they're either out of rotation or a player released too early when that ball was. So when the ball is served, the front row has to be in front of the back row. So if a front row player is pulling back to pass, they cannot be behind the back row player.
11-8, 4 unanswered by the Pilots. This one just over the tape, dug off the shoe tops. This one kept alive by Beaver. Now to Downs. McDonald sends one back, or it's played along the back line by Parrott. Diving play by Downs, send it right back.
Smart
and this
play.
one just cost the line, and that's going to be 12-8 Taylor University. That ends a 4-0 Bethel run. Now the Pilots will dig in on defense as Amanda Adams, the Heath High School, Ohio product, will serve. Downs on the dig. Arnold tries to get one over the net, and then this one's sent home. Powerful play by Grace Isaacs, the Kentucky native. That makes it 13-8. And now it's a 13-9. And now to serve for the Pilots will be Rachel Vendel. Vendel just over the tape. Played by Amanda Adams. This one down, sends one to the far side. And that one was doomed for disaster. Kelsey Fedemet was out of position on the play, on the pass, and that makes it 14-9. And now to serve for Taylor will be DeSemple-Air. Abby Ingles one here to the near side where Hart corrals it, and they'll come back to Hart. Dug out by Korn. Big hit off the tape and in for Amanda Adams. 15-9 in favor of TU. And Abby will serve again. Abby's dad, Larry, is the commissioner of the Crossroads League. There's a one hit by Abby Arnold for the kill. That makes it.
Oh, they're calling no touch on that ball. It did look like there was a touch on that.
That'll make it 16-9 then. 7-point advantage. The match is the largest for Taylor, as that'll be a timeout here by Katie Weiss. We'll take a timeout as well. Bethel won the first game, 25-19, but it's been all Taylor here in game number 2. We'll be back with more. They lead it 16-9 on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
When your child's in the hospital, the last thing you want to do is to leave their bedside.
If we had to leave the hospital at any time, it would have drove us nuts.
Family room was definitely a blessing for us. We needed to be close to our daughter, and it gave us exactly what we needed at that time.
Make a difference in the life of a family when they need it most. Give to the Ronald McDonald House at Memorial Children's Hospital in South Bend. Donate to our new house at loveshinethrough.org.
Welcome back here on Regional Radio Sports. All right. I got somebody out there knows who the Iceman is.
And not from Top Gun, right?
Yeah.
That's
absolutely.
The Iceman
There you go.
That's the Iceman I know.
That's yes, I'm sure. All right, Val Kilmer, fan to my left here. All right, Bethel comes back on the attack. Diving play by DeSemple-Air to keep it alive, and the Pilots come out of the timeout and secure the point. Makes it 16-10. Now checking into the game for Bethel University will be Hannah Dahl. And Hannah, well, stationary right-hand serves, a knuckleball. Angles over here to the near side. This ball deflected off the hands of Hart. Dahl redirects it. And Hart comes to the back line where it's played by Adams. Over to the far side. This one, just a powerful play by Carly Ware. Ware, a 5'8 freshman who prepped down in Southern Indiana at Silver Creek High School. 129 kills for her, make it 130 now. It's 17-10 in favor of TU.
Yeah, I feel like Taylor's kind of settling in now, playing more of the game that we should be seeing.
Now here's the serve by Ashley Harrell. Harrell, who prepped here at nearby Plymouth High School. This one goes off of Abby DeSimple, and that makes it 17-11. Well, I guess we got the commish listening here tonight. Commish, thanks for all you do for education-based athletics in the Crossroads League. Appreciate that greatly, and what you've done for the league. Certainly been encouraging. Here's the point. Your daughter's playing pretty well here tonight too, Coach. That makes it 17-12. And now it's the Pilots a 5-point trailer as Kennedy Kent's the 5-5 Frosch.
Another great
and
one.
She scores again.
She's got that curveball that's just dropping right in front.
And once again, the Pilots within 4. Just when you think it was safe to go back in the water. You can cue that Jaws music right there. And here it is. A nice kill from the back line by Amanda Adams. That makes it 18-13.
And now we're seeing why, Coach, we called that timeout so early. You know, when they're down 4-1, that run doesn't happen, and we're right back in the game. But now we're at 13-18. Cannot let those long runs happen against a good team like Taylor.
Downs over here to Kent's, back here to Peyton Art, or is secured by Nikki Parrott of TU. This one deflected around, and Taylor starting to pull away here at 19-13 in game number 2. Once again, Sarah and I will be across town tomorrow. We'll be in the Chicagoland Collegiate Athletic Conference. We have 2 of the best in the league. Matter of fact, how about number 1 and number 3? Olivet Nazarene and IU South Bend tomorrow, 19-14. That will be a dandy.
A lot of good volleyball this week.
And, of course, you'll be right back here again. Boy, the Pilots' schedule down the stretch, absolutely brutal. They will finish their, and as the serve by Williams is off the mark, that makes it 20-14. They have a Spring Arbor team that they've beaten earlier. They go on the road, but then they have to finish with Indiana Wesleyan, Mount Vernon, and Marion. How about 1, 2, 3? Thank you very much. And now here is the Pilots back on the attack. Oh, nice job here on the near side by Bragg to keep that alive. Over the near side, McDonald punches one home. That makes it 20-15. And now Bridget Downs to serve. Number 11 punches one to the far side. Dug off the shoot tops again by Korn. This time, McDonald comes away with the block. And the Pilots are within 4 at 20-16.
McDonald was right there. She just had to reach across that net, and that ball was going straight back down.
Actually, they're going to give that point. So it makes it 21-15. Now it's 22-15. Spoke too soon.
I feel like we got a lot of aces in this game.
Yeah. Samantha Korn again on the serve. Mackenzie Williams sends it up to Kentz. Over here to Maddie Beaver. Played well by Bragg. This one now, here's Downs again. To Kentz. Oh, Abby Arnold tried to go with the hook shot. And that one way off the mark, 23-15. That certainly would not have been a Lewis Alcindor hook shot. No. No one will know that one.
I was to say, I don't know if I know that one.
AKA Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Ah, there we go.
There you go. Here's A.J. McDonald with the play back the other way. Oh, a powerful play. The howitzer from Amanda Adams. Taylor within 1 point of securing game number 2 and tying things up at 1-1. Kentz with the pass over here and hammered home on the block up front by Grace Isaacs. And what a turnabout we had here in game 2. Final 25-15. Taylor with the win in game 2. That ties it up, and it'll come down to the best.
Maybe it was a big thing, like helping you land the perfect internship. Maybe it was something small, like offering a sympathetic listening ear when you missed your family. It might have been a
Welcome back here on Regional Radio Sports. Glad that you can
Every
join us
day.
here for more of our continuing coverage of the Crossroads League. Of course, keep it right here. There's a ton of stuff coming here on Regional Radio Sports. Of course, Bethel men's and women's basketball. We'll have a bunch of that for you coming up here this winter. And, of course, when we get back into the spring, we'll be with you doing some baseball as well as some softball. And you can say the same thing for over there in that very competitive Chicagoland Collegiate Athletic Conference. We'll be got a full lineup of Holy Cross College games as well as Indiana University South Bend. So some great NAI sports headed your way. Let's go over now here to the All-American, Sarah McFarland-Hendrickson. She's got our stats from Game 2 and how turnabout is fair play, right?
Yeah, very different this game. If you're a stat person, you would look at this and be able to tell who won without even watching the game. When you look at kills, 14 kills for Taylor, whereas Bethel only had 6 and 5 errors for Bethel to Taylor's 1. The big thing here, though, is the hitting percentage of Taylor at .394, whereas Bethel was at a .29.
Ouch.
So that, I mean, you know, that right there kind of says it all. The other big thing was 24 digs to 18. And I was, you know, somewhat on track as far as aces. I think what kept Bethel in that game is they had 5 aces. So, you know, and only 1 service error. So that was big. But now we got to get the hitters going. So defensively, we're playing well. Service aces, we're serving tough. That's great. Now it's someone's got to put the ball away. We got to connect better with our hitters. We got to put the ball away because now both teams have had a chance to kind of settle in. 1 game under their belt each, and it's going to be a dogfight. They got to play hard.
All right, so the team that has won both games has been exactly where they're at right now. Mm-hmm. Bethel's on the left side of the floor. Taylor's on the right side of the floor. And talking with Katie Weiss prior to the game, she talked about that in her last game where they were playing, I think it was against Goshen, and she mentioned the same thing happened where both teams played really, really well on their respective sides of the court, and then they flip-flopped, and the next thing you know, the other team was taking advantage of the other team. So go figure that situation out. But now it's a best of 3, if you will. So talk about coach management here now and how you're going to play things. Is this the pivotal game of the match?
Yeah, and I think it's saying to your team, okay, we've each got a game under our belt. Now we're even. So it's almost like starting the night off. We're warmed up. We're ready to go, and now let's put it all together.
Maddie Beaver is along here on the right side now, and this one just off the hands of Amanda Adams. On the floor for the Pilots here to get this thing started, and as soon as I say that, coming in will be Rachel Vendel. She's out there with Downs. Also Beaver. Also Peyton Hart on the front line, along with Abby Arnold. Also Rachel Vendel up there. This one going long, and the Pilots now lead 2-0. That breaks the trend that we've had for the first 2 games.
Yep.
And Vendel to serve. Vendel, who had a standout career at Valparaiso High School. Here's a one to the backcourt, pumped down by Julie Pomeranke, product of Lincoln Lutheran High School in Seward, Nebraska. She came into today's match with 242 kills, and that's a good one there, and that makes it 2-1. And the Trojans now to serve, and that one out of bounds. Pilots now on the service error lead 3-1. A rare mistake off the serve for TU.
Yeah, and I'd like to see Bethel get their middles more involved. Right now they're relying really heavily on their outsides or right side, and I feel like we got to get the middle going if they want those outsides to be more successful.
Hannah Dahl on the serve. This one played by Taylor to the back line. Dahl should have let that one go. That was going to go out. Hart regroups and angles one here to the near side. Just missed the mark. That makes it 3-2. If Dahl lets that one go, it's a 4-1 game instead of here we are at 3-2.
Yeah, and her teammates have to talk to her. You know, when you're running after a ball like that, you got to have a teammate that's looking out for you, saying that ball's out of bounds, let it go.
Here's Beaver with the pass over here, hammered home. The howitzer off the hand of Kelsey Grozdoff. That makes it 4-2.
There's the middle I was hoping for.
She just jumped right through that one.
As soon as
It'd be the hardest hit ball for her tonight.
And that only helps, like Peyton Hart when she's in the front row and Beaver when they're in the front row. When they can get their middle going, that helps them too.
And here's one hammered home right back at you is Grace Isaacs. And that makes it 4-3 in favor of the Pilots. Now Taylor will come up with their second service error and give the Pilots another freebie. 5-3. Christmas early for the Pilots here in Game 3. Checking out now will be Vendel as well as Peyton Hart. Peyton Hart's actually going to come over here and sit down on the bench.
Yeah, don't see that often.
Yep, playing with a very, very sore knee that's taken a lot of therapy throughout the course of the week. Nice play by Beaver. Here's one hammered home as McDonald was there along with the block with Grusdorf. Bethel improves their advantage to 6-3. As Mackenzie Williams to serve. Mackenzie angles one where it's played by Amanda Adams, and this one was just punched home.
Yeah, McDonald cannot leave her alone. She's their best hitter on the court. That's that lefty. McDonald's coming in. I can see Katie right now going, you cannot leave their best hitter alone, and she knows it.
Zerniak with a powerful play, and that'll bring in the 5'9 senior from Avon, Ohio. Abby DeSimple to serve. She'll be over on the far corner. Punches it down into the middle. That kind of handcuffed Peyton Hart. Now McDonald just grazes one off the tape. This one blocked and punched home. That'll be a point for Taylor as Casey Bragg secures the offering. It makes it 6-5. And Abby again to serve. This one played by Hart over to Kintz and then back to Beaver. Diving play by Korn to keep it alive. This one off the tape. Kintz sends one up the elevator shaft. Over to Downs. Now back to Hart. Oh, you could tell right there, Sarah, that she cannot elevate off that knee. And that makes it 6-6.
Yeah, that's that normal ball she would jump in the air and swing on. They're letting her stay in the back row, and my guess is she probably said, keep me in, coach.
Here's a serve just over the tape. They're setting up shop here for McDonald, and she missed it. It's now 7-6. So Aaron Luthy's team weathered the early storm by the Pilots. They have now ran off 4 straight points. They now lead for the first time here in the third game, 7-6. Hart with the pass over to Kentz, back to Beaver, and she scores to tie it up 7-all. That's our second tie of the third game. Taylor, once they took the lead at 2-1 in game 2, they went coast to coast. Here is Abby Armour with a redirect. Bridget Downs to Kintz to McDonald. Diving play kept alive. Some confusion. A pair of Pilots hit the deck as Kintz comes up a little lame, and this one goes out of bounds, and Taylor with an 8-7 advantage. And Taylor certainly knows about injuries if the Pilots have those. Samantha Korn, Ryan Zerniak, Nikki Seacrest is open to play. She's coming off a shoulder injury that's kept her out almost the entire season, and this will be the third service error, and we're tied at 8-8. If the Trojans will be up 3.
Yeah. I feel like they're kind of doing the opposite now of what I'm saying. last game I'm saying, oh, we got great aces, and now we're missing a lot. So got to go back to what they were doing that worked.
Beaver with the serve, played by Korn. Over the right side, McDonald couldn't close the door, and that'll give Taylor the 9-8 lead.
Again, that's a ball I think Hart's used to being able to run down, and she just doesn't have the wheels right now with her mobility.
And to serve again will be Nikki Parrott. That high serve, Parrott punches it where it's played by Hart. And that's going to be a carry off the hit of Beaver. And now Taylor with a 10-8 lead. Their largest lead in game 3. Parrott again to serve. This one played by Downs. This one comes back. Abby Arnold tries to punch one out. Couldn't do it. 11-8. The Trojans starting to pull away.
And we talked about being in that system, and right now Bethel is not in the system that they like to run. They like to run a quicker offense. And when they do that, they're very successful. And right now they're not passing the ball to be able to run that quicker offense.
Hart nearly handcuffed. Arnold tries to go to the back line where it's played by Parrott. And that'll be a point for the Pilots. That makes it 11-9. And that ends that 3-0 run by TU. And now Rachel Vendel will serve. DeSempolera with the pass to the far side. This one deflected up, goes out of bounds. That'll be a point for Bethel. That makes it 11-10. Rachel Vendel, who enjoys paddleboarding, ice skating, photography. 2 years volleyball in high school, 2 years letter in tennis. Member of the North-South Indiana Elite All-Star team. Here's one punched out by Arnold. Another Valparaiso High School product. Vendel, diving save again by Downs. Back as Beaver sends it to the back line where it's played by Parrott. This one goes long, and that'll be a point for Bethel, and we're deadlocked at 11-all.
Some might be wondering, because that first ball, there was a lot of spin on it, but you are allowed to double that first ball. The hitters have gotten so good, they've had to change some rules so that there's more of a chance for a rally.
Here's a redirect, a nice play by Taylor to pick up the point. Brooke Swearstop with the play. 12-11.
That's that coach's moan in me that I just can't get rid of when I see something like that happen and players don't hit the floor. It drives me crazy.
Casey Bragg sends one to the back line. This one by Arnold, and she scores in the far corner. That makes it 12-12.
That's a great play by her. The ball was a little too low, and she just rolled it right in that corner. Great spot.
Fourth tie of Game 3. We had 8 ties in Game 1. We had 1 tie in Game 2. Here in this important third game with it tied 1-1. Dull with a service error gives Taylor the lead back at 13-12. And now to serve will be Samantha Korn. Korn with 312 digs to lead her club coming into today's action. And this is one for Downs to play it in. Over here on the near side, Downs plays it along the back line. Beaver tries to go to the far corner, a diving save by Parrott. And this one goes long, and the Pilots tie it up at 13-all. And now to serve will be Kennedy Kentz. Kent's a Blackhawk Christian product. Played in the IHSA State Championship game at Ball State. Played in the All-Star game. There's one deflected over here on the near side. Now here's Kentz with the pass to Vendel. Over here to Bieber. She finds the soft spot in the zone, and she scores to give the Pilots a 14-13 lead. Now the Trojans come back on the offensive attack. Hart with the pass to Kentz. Back to Hart. A diving play. Great play on the reach by Casey Bragg. And a one-hand push shot by Beaver scores to give Bethel a 15-13 lead. And a timeout by Aaron Luthi and the Taylor University Trojans. So the Pilots, just seconds ago, looked like they were dead in the water, have rallied to take a 15-13 lead here in game number 3. We'll be back with more Crossroads League College Volleyball live from the Gates Gymnasium. This is the Regional Radio Sports Network.
When you walk into the board...
Indiana High School football.
Here's the inside fake. Ben Brown back pass, flushed out of the pocket. Still on his feet. He looks, he throws downfield. The ball in the end zone. Caught! Unbelievable! 1 second to go! A sensational play by Ben Brown! 1 second to go! He frames it in the end zone. Touchdown, Lake Central! Unbelievable!
Paul Condry and the Regional Radio Sports Network.
And all the way down, ball hits. Sugunovic in the hands at the 10-yard line. He gets to the 20, the 25, and he's got a big hole to the 30. He's going to break it. Bob Sugunovic will go all the way. The 20, the 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown. Bob Sugunovic
Friday nights on WeFM.
Oh, yeah. Excited about that. We'll be putting the headset on at Zlotnick Field in Hammond as Paul Condry will get a rare chance to broadcast his alma mater. Yes, indeed. We're looking forward to it. The Hobart Brickies taking on the Hammond Morton Governors Class 4A tilt on WEFM 95.9 FM, the flagship station for the last 25 years for regional radio sports. The Pilots score coming out of the timeout. Now lead at 16-13. As Kennedy Kentz to serve. Taylor enters a point for the Pilots at the net, Sarah, and that's 2 points coming out of the timeout now.
And we're seeing those tough serves. They're not passing the ball well, getting the setter too tight. She's back row. She can't get over like that. Again.
Kentz played out here by Parrott. This one, diving play by Downs, ricochets to Kentz. And Kentz came up limping. And that makes it 17-14. As TU to serve again now. Amanda Adams.
You gotta like it. Every time Katie looks at her though and goes, "You okay?" She goes, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine."
Gotta love it. Love kids like that. Here's
Yep.
one. This one really took the ponytail off of Amanda Adams that time. Here's Vendel trying to find the soft spot. Here's a pass here to the near side. Forget about that. You set that one up. And Ryan Zerniak, that's like asking me to come to the buffet line.
And that's exactly what Taylor has to do. You know, when they get a free ball like that, it's got to be a perfect pass right on there so that they can put the ball away.
And, of course, that all-you-can-eat seafood buffet, preferably. 18-15 is the Pilots score. And now a substitution for the home team. You can really notice Peyton Hart is not at full strength and limping now.
Yeah, I was kind of doing my own little stat to see how, when she was in, the points they were getting, and when she was out. And, when she's
Here's McDonald with the howitzer.
There we go.
19-15, Bethel. And now Mackenzie Williams. Well, it's like Katie talked about when they were up at Cornerstone. They played well with not having Peyton at all. You just never know what's going to happen.
Yep.
Kids have got to rise to the occasion. Here's Downs.
Exactly.
With a pass to Kentz. This one ricochets off the hands of Bragg. Kentz to Downs. Over here to Beaver. This one ricochets, and that's sent home. I believe sending that home was Carly Ware. Her and Grace Isaacs were in the same zip code.
Yeah.
19-16 as Taylor scores the point. And now Taylor to serve. Once again, it's Abby DeSimple-Air. Abby came into today's game with 444 assists to go along with her 22 aces, 256 digs. As the official down here below us is trying to check out the rotation. That's Janice Jasinski-Beck from Walkerton. And now we're ready to go. Williams to Kentz to McDonald, and she pounces on it and then gives the Pilots a 20-16 lead.
And again, we see when they are in system and they can run McDonald, and you can just tell she is more comfortable when she can hit that quick ball. I don't know if she played middle in high school or what, but she hits that ball so well when they can run that in system.
Bridget Downs angles one over here to the near side. The simple air with a pass. This one, beautiful play by Taylor at the net. Carly Ware. This one is sent home by Ware, and that closes the gap to 20-17. Nice play by Warrell on the front line. Taylor will call upon Ashley Harrell, a 5'3 junior, to serve. She's got 6 aces on the season in 102 games.
I think Coach is wondering if the score is correct. Yeah, she's saying 20 as well.
So it's 21-17. And I think I'm with Aaron. I thought it was 20. All right, so we'll put it 21-17. Here's Beaver. Played on the back line by Adams. On the near side, this one, diving play by Kentz. To Downs. McDonald. Played by DeSimple-Air on the far side. This one deflected. Adams waiting here at the net. Pilots score on the two-hand stuff by Maddie Beaver. They jump in front 22-17.
And I like seeing some emotion from Beaver on that one. She got fired up.
And now once again, Madison Beaver. 714 assists for number 10 for the Pilots. Number 7 in the Crossroads League at 6.7. And Aaron Luthing wants to take a timeout and discuss pleasantries with her team. We'll take a timeout too. Pilots here in a 1-1 battle are in front 22-17 in game 3. We'll be back with more right after this.
Manage your money like a pro with
Maybe it was a big thing, like helping you land the perfect internship. Maybe it was something small, like offering a sympathetic listening ear when you missed your family. It might have been advice about your choice of major, spiritual guidance, or how to deal with roommate conflicts. Whatever it was, you knew that you were seen and heard. You walked away a little lighter, a little more confident, knowing that someone else was walking this journey with you. At Bethel University, we're more than an academic institution.
Tiny Country's been directing all the traffic or keeping yours truly out of trouble. Good luck with that endeavor. Sarah McFarland Hendricks here to my left. Glad to have her again with us. All right, Sarah, hitting the home stretch here now. Does Taylor have what it takes to rally to get this one done? They're a 22-17 trailer. And if that is the case, what are they going to do that?
I mean, it's going to be tough, but it is definitely doable. They got to pass the ball. When they pass the ball, they can do great things, but they've been struggling, and they got a tough server right now in Beaver.
Maddie Beaver will serve from the left side, wearing jersey number 10. Played here by Adams. McDonald with a pass over here. Beaver with a diving play, kept alive by Samantha Korn. The Pilots will pick up the point and now lead 23-17. And now the Maddie Beaver again to serve. Madison with a team-high 41 aces starting today. The right-hander with a line drive and diving play kept alive nicely by Adams. McDonald sends one back. The Simple Air setting up shop. This one hammered home as McDonald scores, and the Pilots are serving for game point here at 24-17. Keep in mind the last 2 times that the Trojans were here inside the Gates Gymnasium, it has been a 5-game match, and that will be an ace for Beaver, and the Pilots win game number 3. Check that. 25-17. Now, in case you're just hopping along, Bethel won on this side of the floor, 25-19. Taylor won on this side of the floor to my left, 25-15. And the Pilots come bouncing back to win on this side of the floor. So the winner has been on the left side of the floor. So what does that tell you? As Taylor is going to be serving on the left side of the floor, and we'll see what they can do when we come back after the timeout on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Manage your money like a
in recognition of outstanding athletes. Visit Centeer.com today to view this week's featured athlete. Centeer Bank, member FDIC. Paul Condry, Sarah McFarland Hendricks, Tanya Condry with directing the ship here. Once again, an exciting Crossroads League volleyball match. This one's moving on here to game number 4, and just as an FYI, in matches that have been decided by 4 games, Bethel is 4-9. Taylor in that same dynamic, and they are 5-6. And if they go the distance, and I think that based upon the trends, Taylor in matches that have been decided in 5 games, Sarah. They've won 4 and lost 1. Bethel, in games that have been decided by 5, they're 0-2. So the Pilots don't want to get to that. You got our stats.
They want to take care of it in 4 for sure. And I'll tell you what, it's the complete opposite. With the last game, I said if you looked at the stats, you'd know who won. If you looked at these stats, you'd have no clue who won. Because both teams had 10 kills, 5 errors for Bethel, 8 for Taylor. Hitting percentage of .56 for Taylor, a .156 for Bethel, 17 and 18 digs. I mean, they're right there neck and neck. So you got to go, okay, what's the difference maker here? It means that it's a point here, a point there. And it's interesting. I think they let Hart stay in the game because they know that she's a great leader. At the same time, if she's not at 100%, they almost were better when she was not in there. Let her rest out of the back row so she can come in the front and give her 100%. And come back out. The 3 service errors that was a big huge, and they were all early on that kept the Pilots in the game. Keep in mind now that the Taylor ran away with game number 2 playing on the left side of the floor. Once again, Taylor, in case you're just joining us, decked out in the purple jerseys. The Pilots on the right side of the floor decked out in the white jerseys. And the blocks were a big thing as well. You know, Bethel had 4 blocks to Taylor's 0. So that's a big thing as well. Yeah, again, looks like Kennedy Kintz has got ice on her right knee. Already Peyton Hart's been injured. And we don't even talk about Taylor's injury issues, as 3 of her best players have missed at least a month, and Ryan Zerniak, Nikki Seacrest, and Samantha Korn. They've all had injuries. As Bethel will start it off, it's Maddie Beaver on the serve. Madison sends one over here to the near side, and it's played by Fedema, and this one pounded home. Big play at the net by Julie Pomerenke, and TU with an early 1-0 lead. And Bethel does not want to get in the hole again to start off with. They have got to start off strong. Don't let the other team get on a run. When I say run, multiple points in a row. Nikki Parrott to serve for Taylor. Played by Hart over here to McDonald. Oh, the redirect by, I believe, was that Abby Arnold, and she scores, and that's 1-1 now. They got to get Arnold involved again. Game 1, she had a couple of swings. The last couple games, she's been a little bit quiet and connecting with that middle, which can happen when you've got some setters switching in and out. But they got to get her going a little bit. She helps. Vendel, another Valparaiso commodity. Here is Vendel with a diving play, kept alive nicely by Beaver, and then Arnold returns it in good favor. This one played by Downs. Now over here to Beaver, and this one deflects off nice play by Hart, and she scores! 2-1. What a play by Peyton Hart. I'm actually kind of surprised we're not seeing Bragg do that a little bit more. She's a left-handed setter when she's up there and using herself as a offensive weapon. Vendel with that right-handed serve just over the tape, or it's played by Bragg, and the Pilots with 3 unanswered now lead 3-1. Taylor's going to pull Bragg out of the serving rotation. You know, as a natural setter, she hasn't taken a lot of balls as a passer, so we'll see. Yep, they're going to go towards
Vendel
her
goes
again.
down here, and she comes up with the ace.
Yep, that's exactly what I would have done. Serve her. Keep going where it's hot.
4-1 now. The Pilots with the lead here in Game 4. Vendel this time. And we're going to call a carry. And that makes it 5-1. So is it timeout time for Erin Luthi? She's going to want to stop this momentum pretty quick. She's 5-1. Rotate her players around. She's going to let Bragg set the ball instead this time. I think if they score here again, I think she will. Yep. Here's a pass to the front of the net. Diving play. Beaver keeps it alive. Now to Downs. Hart. Diving play. Beautiful play by DeSimple-Air. And the Pilots were able to somehow secure the point now. That makes it 6-1. And now some rotation. Thanks for Aaron Pugh, a 5'5" freshman coming in for Taylor University now. A 6-1 Pilot lead. This one ricochets to the far side. Vendel. Beaver, far corner, scores! 7-1 BU. And Erin Luthi, there's your timeout. Yep. The Pilots, after losing the first point, roar back and score 7 unanswered. We're going to keep it right here. And all right, let's talk about what Aaron Luthy's talking to her team about. It looks like she's saying, settle down. I can read her lips from our vantage point.
Yep, serve and pass wins the game, and we've seen that tonight. The team that is serving tough, that's able to pull the other team off the net, not do what they want to do, is getting the most points, and the team that is passing better is winning the games. And each time tonight that we've had a team lose, it's because their passing has been broken down, and that's what's happening right now with Taylor. Bethel's going back, serving a tough ball. They're serving in a great location. They're either going at Bragg or going towards the right side of the court. They've tried a few different things where they've moved players in different directions, and they're still getting them. So now we got to come back out after this timeout and close the door if you're Bethel. No let-ups. Taylor on the bench and getting some one-on-one facial time with Aaron Luthy. They'll have Pomeranke, Korn, along with DeSimple. In addition to that, Pugh, and Amanda Adams, and Casey Bragg. The Pilots will come back and counter with Bridget Downs, Vendel, along with Madison Beaver, Hart, also on the floor, Abby Arnold, and rounding out the lineup for the Pilots, I believe that is Kelsey Grosdorf. And now to serve again will be Vendel. This one difficult to play, and the Pilots score again. Again, bad pass. Bethel puts it away. It was actually Kelsey Vedema up there on the front line. That makes it 8-1. Here's Vendel, another difficult serve. Coming back to the far side. Vendel with a pass to Beaver. Arnold scores! 9-1 Pilots. And now coming into the game now will be Parrott. He'll be coming in for Aaron Pugh. And once again, Vendel has been behind this rally with the serve. Vendel, this one to the back line where Parrott has to play it. Downs, over to Beaver, to the right side, Hart, dug off the shoot tops by Korn. This one deflected off of Beaver, and that finally ends the drought for Taylor. That makes it 9-2, a 9-0 run. And Sarah, you mentioned it, the team that can string some points together is going to have a great chance of winning. Especially in rally scoring, getting a couple of points is huge. Casey Bragg with that high serve, spins it over here to Downs, now to Beaver. Arnold scores. Pilots get it right back at you, and they lead now 10-2. I love it. We're seeing Arnold get involved. You can see Coach DeJesus going, yes, because she even knows we got to get that middle involved. For those of you who may or may not know, Bethel assistant coach Lisa DeJesus, her maiden name was Davis, was a teammate of my broadcast partner at Michigan City High School. They won a state championship together. And after Taylor with the point there, that makes it 10-3. And I've heard you say a bunch of times that one of the best players you ever played with. It's just a great volleyball mind. She knows the game so well. I remember being in middle school and being excited to come up and play with her. As Hart pounds one down the near sideline to give the Pilots an 11. Nope, they're going to say it was out. Oh. Whew. All right, that'll be 10-4 then. Okay. All right, it'll be Taylor to serve. Boy, I tell you what, I had the best view in the house. Yeah. We were right up on top of it. Here's Hart. This one to the far side, punched around. Oh, a nice little play on the far side by Amanda Adams. Taylor within 5 at 10-5. Here they come. All on the serve of Samantha Korn. Korn, play by Vendel. Over to the right side. This one punched home. Nice play by the Pilots. Kelsey Grosdorf. And that's a great play. They're not running directly at a block. They're making the players have to move, have to find their hitters, and they get one-on-one, and they are able to put the ball away. 11-5 Bethel. Mackenzie Williams to check in to serve. She angles one down the far side where it's played by Parrott. This one hammered home. You cannot leave Grace Isaacs alone. She just punches your lights out over there. That's exactly what happened there. 11-6.
And now to serve will be Amanda Adams. See how the youngster who hails from the Buckeye State. Here's a score for the Pilots. Makes it 12-6.
And Grosdorff doing a better job of hitting towards the corners instead of going straight ahead. Some of that's just her connection with the setter as well. She's not just going straight ahead in the middle of the block. She's hitting to those corners.
Peyton Hart to serve. Stationary serve. Nearly handcuffs Amanda Adams. This one deflected off, kept alive by Beaver on the redirect from McDonald.
Great play.
And here is Hart again with the score, giving Bethel a 13-7 advantage.
We talk about her being smart. She knows she's not going to elevate and get the swing she wants, so she puts the ball right in the middle of the court where they've struggled with defense.
Taylor on the attack. This one deflects off the hands of Williams out of bounds. Taylor scores the point. They close the gap to 13-7 here in this fourth game. In case you're just joining us, Bethel won game 1, Taylor won game 2. Bethel bounced back to win game 3. And now Taylor on the same side of the floor where everybody has won a game. Now trails 13-7. Beaver with the pass over here to Downs. Downs sends it over here where Korn is able to corral it. Here is Hart hustling back after it. McDonald saves the day. Korn over here to the near side, punched around. Korn again with the save. This one back. Here Beaver comes back. Diving play kept alive. Over on the near side, blocked by McDonald. And along with Grosdorff. Beaver scores! Pilots lead 14-7. Madison Beaver just jumped out of her skin that time.
Yeah, and that's a great job, and that's what I've been expecting Bragg to do tonight, and she has not as a left. That's a hard play for Beaver to make as not a dominant left-handed player, but she does it textbook.
Bridget Downs now to serve. Number 11 goes into the far side where it's played by Korn. McDonald with a great block that time on Grace Isaacs. Beaver passes to McDonald and missed it wide left. That makes it 14-8.
She got a little too excited on that one. She really wanted it. Kind of chuckling herself. She knows it.
I tell you what, get that adrenaline going.
Yep. Sometimes you get that. There's no block and you just want to pound it and end up making an error.
Former Plymouth standout Ashley Harrell to serve. Right-handed shot. Bethel on the attack here. Abby Armold goes to the corner and she scores. 15-8 Pilots here in game 4. Now checking in for BU will be Kelsey Fedema. Fedema, who hails from the Spartan State. Here's a line drive just over the tape. This one hit long by Pomeranke, and the Pilots now lead 16-8. And they have now matched their largest lead of the game. Beaver served just over the tape. This one to the back line going long. And it's now 17-8 Pilots.
Good. Time for another timeout here.
And there it is. You called it.
Yeah. Taylor just trying to do a little bit too much now. Instead of just settling in and playing their game, this game's not over yet. That's the joy of rally scoring. But everybody right now is just trying to do a little bit too much and ending up making some errors.
Once again, we want to reiterate something that we mentioned before the start of this one. The Pilots against ranked teams this season, or not against ranked teams, of teams with winning records, let me correct myself, or above 500. The Pilots are 2-16. The Trojans, with teams below 500 or better, are a perfect 13-0. So the Pilots with a 17-8 lead here in game number 4, leading 2-1 in the match, are in control, yes?
Yeah, definitely. And I can tell what Coach Weiss is saying down there. It's shut the door, let's go. We've worked hard. We've got some energy, which we did not see in the beginning of this match. And so we need to close the door. We cannot let them come back at all because, again, with rally scoring, this game is not over until you hit 25.
I think the thing that I enjoy the most about Katie is because she's such an energetic competitor, doesn't like to lose, to say the least. And she's trying to sort out athletes that don't always hurt when they lose.
That's
I don't know if that's a generational thing or not.
I think it is. I struggled with that as a coach as well.
Here's a play by Korn, kicking it off.
Oh, that's
and this one nicely played at the net by Julia Pomeranke. As Taylor scores coming out of the timeout, it makes it 17-9. And now to serve Nikki Parrott. 5'6", second-year player from Warsaw High School. High toss on the serve. Beaver to the right side, miss hit by Kelsey Fidema, and it's now 17-10. Favor of the Pilots. Aaron Luthi down here to our left, trying to encourage her squad to get back in this thing. There's the serve, and that's an ace. 17-11, 3 unanswered since the Aaron Luthi timeout.
And they got to pass this ball because this is the kind of server you let her get on a roll, her momentum gets going, and she can bring you back into this game.
And that high toss in the serve. Downs passes to the net to Beaver. Arnold gets it to fall.
Oh, that was up. Oh, come on.
And the official on the far side got out the yellow card. That's 18-11. I'll let you talk about it, Sarah.
Coach Luthi, that was a pancake. They got that ball up. She had every right to jump up. She's trying to get her team going, and I think, in all honesty, he just blew the whistle a little too fast.
And now to serve for Bethel University will be Rachel Vendel. And I totally agree with you. From our vantage point, it was definitely the pancake was there. Here's the serve. Played by Bragg. This one blocked by Arnold. And Fatima, the Pilots now lead 19-11.
Everything that can kind of go wrong right now for this Taylor crew is kind of going wrong.
Vendel again with the serve. Difficult for Bragg, and she scores. Bethel leads it now 20-11 on the ace.
Not much now Coach Luthi can do. She's taking her timeouts. She's got to let her club kind of play through this, fight through it a little bit.
The 5'6" freshman from Valpo. This one difficult for the hands of Bragg. Back the other way. They'll attack on the right side. Hart, diving play kept alive by Korn. Back to the far side. And a score from Amanda Adams closes the gap to 20-12. Pilots with the lead. And now to serve, Casey Bragg. Talented Frosch from Warsaw High School. High toss on the serve, spins it over, off the shoot tops, it's Vendel. Over here to Hart. This one ricochets and hits to the floor right through the hands of Bragg, and Bethel leads it 21-12.
I'm anxious to see how Bragg develops as a player because I think we're seeing some similar things from her that I remember seeing Beaver do last year as a freshman as well. And now she's kind of gotten into more of a rhythm as a sophomore. She's making some freshman errors, not using the tools that she's got in her tool belt.
Dull with the serve now for Bethel. There's a pass here to the right side. Dull couldn't track it down. And it's now 21-13 in favor of the home team. As Samantha Cornigan to serve. Toledo Christian High School product over there on the far corner next to the official David Cole. The back line Vendel. And that one's pounded home by Grace Isaacs. That makes it 21-14. The team from Upland down a touchdown and an extra point now. Korn played to Vendel. Now to Beaver. This one deflected by Fatima. They go to the net over on the near side. This one hammered home as the Pilots were there on the block. As Kelsey Grosdorf makes it a 22-14 Bethel lead. And now to serve Mackenzie Williams. Williams here on my right to serve.
They got to stay with that left side, or the right side, sorry, the lefty.
There's one hammered. What a play by Downs on the howitzer. This one deflected and a score.
Bethel's just coming up with some big blocks right now again.
Once again, Beaver up there on the front. 23-14. The Pilots 2 points away. Here's the serve. Played by Korn. Near side, cross court. Downs to the net, and this one punched out as Ryan Zerniak keeps her club alive at 23-15.
And I was looking up that was one of the things I was looking up during our timeout is what is the ruling in the net? And you can touch the net or go under as long as you do not interfere with play.
Here is the play here, hammered home by Kelsey Grusdorf, and the Bethel University Pilots will be serving for game 4 and serving for the match. Peyton Hart, the Gutty Jr. from East Noble High School, on the serve. There's a pass to the net. This one goes long. What a play. Sending it to the far corner by Grace Isaacs. 24-16. As Taylor survives match point, and then they'll do it again. Abby de Simple-Air to serve along the near side. The 5'9 senior wearing jersey number 10, knuckleball Downs. Over to Beaver. McDonald. And blocked at the net and score the point for Grace Isaacs. 24-17. They stave off elimination again for the second consecutive point.
I feel like Beaver might take this into her own hands pretty soon and just put the ball over.
The Simple-Air on the right-hand serve. This one handcuffs Williams. Williams sends it back to the corner. The Simple-Air with the pass. Downs digs it off along the back line now. Hart to McDonald, and that'll be a carry on the Pilots now, 24-18. 3 consecutive match points Taylor has. And Katie Weiss wants to take a timeout and discuss her pleasantries with her club. 24-18. We'll keep it right here. Once again, Bethel won game 1, 25-19. Taylor won game 2 at 25-15. Bethel won game 3, 25-17. And here we are, Bethel with a 24-18 lead here in game number 4.
You know, you get in a position like this and everybody's just kind of waiting for someone else to get the game and finish it. And the fact of the matter is you got to play the game like it's not 24-18, but maybe like it's 18-18. Have a sense of urgency and put the game away. You know, don't try to do too much, too little. Just get in there, do what you know how to do, pass the ball, put the ball away.
Score in the World Series, Nationals Astros 2-2, top of the second. And it is going to be a fun series. Paul County was very excited to see the Evil Empire lose. And glad to see the Astros and the Nationals. Excited for the Nationals. First time opportunity in the World Series. A lot of neat things going on there. All right, back to Crossroads League Volleyball. Once again, it's Abby de Simple-Air on the serve. She's kept her club alive here. 3 unanswered points to stave off elimination. Over the net, Williams to Beaver. Dug out nicely by Adams. Up the elevator shaft, it goes blocked. Kept alive now at the net. De Simple-Air with the pass. Here's Beaver. Scores! Pilots win it! 25-18. Taylor loses for the first time to a team under 500 this season. The Pilots pick up their 3rd win against a team above 500. Taylor falls to 17-15 overall. They're now 7-8 in the Crossroads League. They're now 12-13 away from the friendly confines of the Yodel Gymnasium. Bethel improves to 11-20. They are now 4-10 in the Crossroads League, and they are now 4-4 here at home. Oh, the teams are going to gather here at Mike Lightfoot Court and pray. We're going to take a timeout and be back right after this.
When I got here, I was amazed at.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
All right, back live at you here from our broadcast locale. Paul Condry along with Sarah McFarland Hendricks. We got some interviews to do here